Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
The background for this business was my personal interest in creating content in my niche, which blossomed into this larger project that both fueled my creative passion as well as provided a stable stream of income. Prior to this business, I had not run any other online businesses, which is why I took such great pains to thoroughly research all my decisions. I developed this business with the intention of building a solid framework and foundation to grow and scale it, which has really paid off for me. I always took every possible measure to set the business up for success down the line without any shortcuts. My goal for this business was always to safeguard its future and provide a smooth path to continue growing it, even if it meant a lot of work up front. I am a huge perfectionist myself and have a very high bar for myself in everything that I do, which you can really see in all the attention and care that I've poured into every image, every photo, the lighting, the editing, the paragraphs, the code, and there's even a custom coded logo on the homepage that responds to your cursor, which is a really cute, whimsical touch.
Why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
Unfortunately, I made the decision to sell this business after running it for the past 3, almost 4 years because a close and immediate member of my family suffered a severe, life-changing illness that has required me to attend to them for many hours a day. And for the last 6 months or so, I've been letting this asset just kind of cash flow on its own, which has been great, but I want to be able to work on it more, and just letting it sit there idle was really frustrating to me. And so I've decided that I kind of realized that I wasn't going to be able to come back to it like I had hoped. And so I really don't want to see the business continue to falter if I'm not able to pay attention to it and give it the time that it needs and the work that it needs. So I'm hoping to pass this on now to someone who will kind of take care of it as I did and who will really appreciate what I built.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
Currently, a handful of freelancers do the majority of work on my business. My freelancers write 5 to 6 posts a month of a diverse nature. They just choose posts from a pre-existing list that I've made several years ago, and they just choose posts from them and write them. My freelancers also manage the Pinterest account, and they also do some interlinking and link building in the Facebook group that is for my niche. Personally, I spend about 5 hours a week, and I just manage my freelancers by posting the posts that they submit. I pay them at the end of the month. I also personally spend some time generating my original tutorials, my original handicraft tutorials. And I'll also spend some time in my inbox just responding to people's questions about the tutorials that I create. I think for the work that I do, like generating tutorials and also answering questions about the tutorials, these are tasks that could be pretty easily outsourced to someone selected from my email list, which is full of amazing people who are all really knowledgeable about this craft and would be able to troubleshoot and read all my tutorials and help everyone else out. It would also be possible to crowdsource new tutorials from up-and-coming kind of artists who are interested in having their tutorials showcased on the website. And this is a common practice in many other websites in this niche.
So if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
If I were to keep the business and try to grow it, there were a lot of things I could do if I had the energy and the time. First of all, I would add a lot more content. Currently, I'm only adding about 5-ish posts a month, and I'd want to increase that to like maybe 20 posts a month just through myself writing posts and also just outsourcing more to freelancers. I have one freelancer who I have set to the task of writing really, really long, in-depth articles, who is really, really great and also takes original photos. So that's really awesome. So I'd have them and myself also write more posts that are both short photo tutorials, but also really long, in-depth, kind of like meaty content. I would personally create a lot more craft tutorials. I think I would do that by personally just, generating more ideas, but also crowdsourcing from my email list, just asking for submissions from people who are up and coming and want like a chance to like get their work shown to others. And I would run a lot more events. For example, craft-alongs in my niche are really popular, and it's a great way to drive traffic. There are a lot of collaboration opportunities within the community that are able to be accessed through the niche Facebook group that I mentioned earlier. There are lots of collaborations and affiliate opportunities for ebooks and other tutorial guides and things like that that I haven't taken advantage of as much. I'm really light on affiliate marketing, which there's a big opportunity there because my niche is a hobby niche where people need to buy a lot of items. I would love to expand my product offerings and also just market my digital products better because currently I have a lot of 70 PDF craft tutorials that I mostly just sell passively on Etsy and through the links in the free tutorials. But I could do a lot more bundle sales and push the PDFs a bit harder, or even try out a paid only kind of strategy for a while of only selling PDF patterns versus blog posts that are getting ad revenue. I also have one course that is out currently and it's been really successful on Teachable, and it's a beginner craft course for my niche. And people really enjoy that, and it sells really well. And I have already kind of like teed myself up to make another course. People are already asking about more courses in that niche, which I would love to do if I had the time. That's also probably like outsourceable through freelancers again for my newsletter. My newsletter has been my best way of hiring because everyone in my newsletter is really knowledgeable in the craft and usually like knows me to some extent and very eager to learn and help out. So that's been a really smooth way for me to hire help for my business.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
I would say that the biggest risks for this business, which is primarily ad revenue driven content website, are that it relies on organic traffic from Google. I am pretty diversified in traffic. I get a good amount of traffic from both Pinterest and also just direct traffic from my newsletter. But I mean, the Google algorithm changes and the Pinterest algorithm can change too. And so there are always those risks. Another challenge that's facing all content websites right now is the threat of AI and AI generated content. But luckily for my niche, which is a craft niche that relies a lot on photography, like original photos and very specific instructions, AI just can't really replicate that, especially not like the unique style and photography style and kind of cute aesthetic that I've been able to create. So AI is definitely not as big of a concern for this niche as it is for other niches that are purely dependent on text. Also, for my website, I've done a lot of work in creating tons of original photographs. Almost every single blog post, like craft tutorial, has multiple, like 4 or 5, maybe 10 original photographs, both finished product and also the in-process photos. And so there's just tons of original photography that cannot really be replicated by AI. I also have created lots and lots of videos that can be just repeatedly linked to in the future. So I've created a whole library of video content that is just there to kind of bolster the text content, and that really builds up my authority.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
I'm prepared to offer 3 months of call and email support. This is because I'm aware that tutorials I've created might be hard for the buyer to completely understand and grasp right away. And so Because of the nature of the content, I'm willing to offer more than just 1 month of support. So 3 months of call and email support for you to get your bearings and be able to either hire someone to take that task over or learn it yourself.
Got it. And regarding the sale of the business, would you agree to a non-compete?
Yes, I confirm that I commit to the non-compete. I also do want to disclose that I am currently working on a book project with a publisher for my art tutorials. And all of these tutorials for the book are completely separate from the ones that I have on the website and are completely different. And so I do have that project coming out. I will never have another WordPress or content site for these specific art tutorials, excluding this book project and any future book projects.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out agreement?
Yes, I'm open to an earn-out payment structure, so please go ahead and make your offer.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why is your business a business worth buying?
I might be a little biased, but I strongly believe this is a business worth buying. First of all, not to my own horn, but it has a really strong foundation. From the very beginning, I've only used white hat techniques and been relentless in searching out the best practices and laying a really solid foundation. I wanted to make sure that I would never get in my own way, and whenever possible, I would always standardize, lay down the best procedures, and make sure I do it over and over again until I do it right every single time. So I'm really proud of the foundation that I've built, and I think that you'll see if you go through it that it's really clean, and I've never taken any shortcuts. When I need to do something, I did it. The second point is that this niche, which is a craft tutorial niche, it's not really that easily copied and has a very strong natural moat. This is because a lot of people don't have the skill to create the tutorials that I've created, and further, because of the need for photo tutorials, video tutorials, and original photography for the craft tutorials, it's very difficult for AI to replicate. I know this is a big problem in the industry right now, but this is definitely a bastion, I would say. Although there is tons of content on the website that's not just these tutorials, the tutorials themselves provide a lot of authority to the website and will keep people coming back and viewing the content. Also, the tutorials I've created are not easily copied as well because they are, personally, I feel like, very high quality and have a really cohesive aesthetic and style, and which is really valuable as a portfolio. Thirdly, this website and business as a whole has a very high amount of authority. I have really woven my personal voice into a lot of the emails, a lot of the articles, and my social media posts, and not too much so that it's not difficult to take over because I've never revealed anything too personal, but I do have a strong voice. And that, coupled with the video tutorials I've created and the photos on the website, really create a very strong level of authority from myself. This website and the brand has also been published in many trade magazines in the UK and in the US, which has really bolstered the authority of the website. And I've also done tons of guest posts for one of the leading product manufacturers in this niche, which has been really helpful for brand building as well. Fourthly, this business is incredibly standardized. I mentioned that earlier, but that's because I am obsessed with efficiency. And from the very beginning, I've always created SOPs wherever I can just to make things easier for myself and easier for others if they were to take over my role. So currently, a lot of my business is already automated and outsourced to my freelancers. And for each of them, I have lists, I have spreadsheets, tables, Notion, to-do lists with all the information that they'll need. I have email drafts for hiring, onboarding, training each of my freelancers. So I even have Loom videos that link to those emails that go over how to use the spreadsheets for the freelancers. So everything is really automated, and I did it for my own sake because I want to make everything as standardized as possible and as easy as possible for me. But that's also really paid off, meaning that for you, it'll be really easy to pick up where I left off, especially on the outsourcing side. But even for my own craft tutorials, I long ago set up like a method and a SOP for how I get these tested. I have a list that I go to. I have email drafts that I send out every time, forms that they fill out automatically. So it's all very streamlined. And I'm very proud of that, of course. Also, because I just think it's the right way to do things. And I'm proud of myself for doing that. Lastly, this is a very highly diversified business in almost every sense. I have a large number of income streams. I've dabbled in many different types of revenue, and I have several really strong revenue streams right now. I have multiple sources of organic traffic, Google, Pinterest, direct, with the potential for more. I have multiple types of products. I have both free content. I also have digital products. In the PDF form, I also have an online course. And even within my content on the website, I have about 3 or 4 different types of content that I kind of add to all at the same time. So many of these income streams are still in their infancy and definitely have huge potential, like Pinterest, which I only started last year with a freelancer. Selling courses, I only have one, can definitely add more, and my audience would definitely really go for that. And a lot of them have requested several specific ones. For example, affiliate marketing. So I've already provided the proof of concept for these 3 and more. So all you need to do is the scaling. So my business, in the 3 years that I've run it, it's grown so really, really fast, I think, going from AdSense to Mediavine to Raptive in just 3 years. And I really attribute that to my strong work ethic and the standards that I've created from the very beginning and my own high standards of quality. And I really believe that it's a really strong business to take over for someone who has the time and energy to dedicate to a new project like this.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll find everything you need to know about this business. So, thanks for joining us. See you next time.